one of the concepts that took me a while to wrap around my brain was that nothing can happen to you without your permission.
Yes.
And you have to be at a certain level of growth to really understand what that is. And it's very, very, very powerful. It's very empowering when somebody is able to stand in their own power and not worry about what everybody else thinks. My whole mission is that when I'm talking to them and the truth hits them, and it's such a release, and they just feel it changes the energy in their body.
Yeah.
And with that understanding, they have more hope. They know that they're going to be happier, and they come back for a tune-up.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and they do, because everybody has come to me so far. All has been word of mouth, and I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I love doing it because that's my passion. That really is my passion. And, of course, I work in the mental health field. I work with the chronically mentally ill, and I love doing that, too, and I worked for 10 years with people living with addiction and HIV and AIDS, and I absolutely loved that because they were my greatest teachers.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're living it raw, and they are learning once they can see that. You know, they really
absolutely.
are. They're great teachers.
It was a great experience for me because they taught me how to work with people who might be very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then people come in, depending on what essence they are, and you have your family culture, your ethnic culture, you have your society's culture, and they're living in a physical world, and most people are trying to survive in it, especially when you're a child, because you're totally powerless in your physical world. And lucky if you have nurturing parents, but a lot of people don't. And of course, part of when I work with people, we talk about the parents, not at all in any way of a judgment. It's about telling them, asking them why they picked them for what lessons that they have to learn. Because we do pick our parents.
No, I agree with you.
Yes, and sometimes the parents are there to force us to grow, no matter what circumstance that it is. If they have a strong ego, they're able to get over that.
Yeah,
and oftentimes
that's a real hard one for people. Yeah, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one because what happens with people in front of me, I'm looking at wounded souls.
Yes.
And with a lot of anger and a lot of post-traumatic stress and a lot of different things. But most of them are very bright, and at that point you just give them small steps that they need to practice.
That's right.
Practical. Yep. What I have done with people privately is I've done the rebirthing with people that had post-traumatic stress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like a guided meditation with the rebirthing. The rebirthing is a circular breath. And what it does, it starts at your most previous, your most experience, and then it goes down deeper and deeper. And what it does is it releases the memories from the cells in your body.
Mm.
Okay. Now, for instance, I worked with a woman when she was maybe around 10 or 11. She was gang raped by a bunch of kids, and everyone thought she was crazy, and she wasn't. And at the time, I was working in family violence, and the program director asked me to talk to her. And as she trusted me, I introduced this concept. And she came for 6 sessions of the rebirthing. And what I did was, when she was ready, because I always have the client in control. They can stop anytime they want with anything that I'm doing. And I brought her in and lead her to a guided meditation, because I can see where she's going.
Yeah.
And as the adult, she was able to go into the barn, rescue the child, bring the child out to me, and I said to her, now you can go back into the barn and do whatever you want to do. You do not have to tell me, because this is your healing. The intention is for your healing. You're not really going to hurt anybody, but you can do anything you want. She never told me what she did, but she'd been in an abusive marriage for 25 years, and probably within 6 months she left the marriage.
Wow.
And she went back in and claimed her power.
Yep. She went and found herself. Yep.
She went and rescued the child and stood in her own power and was not going to put up with any more abuse.
Yep.
It's very powerful stuff when somebody is willing to do it. And it's very scary for someone to